Welcome back to the Brew Crew Podcast, everyone. This is episode 181. 181. What is that called? Anagram or something?
Yeah, so I was thinking about it too. It's the same forwards and backwards, so that's a palindrome. It's the same upwards, downwards, and that's something else too.
It's unique to the 8 and the 1.
And the 1. Yeah, the 8 and the 1.
That's
Or
it.
like another year that works for that is when we get there, we'll remember it is 1961. So when you flip it, it's 1961.
Yeah. Wow. We'll remember that because we'll never get there.
Well, please, come on. We're on the highway. We're
in
inertia.
Yeah. Go ahead.
At current pace, I would guess, what do we do? About 48 a year, math in public. 70s, we'll be in our 70s.
By 1961?
No. Yeah, by the time, episode 1961.
Oh, episode 19. I thought you meant year 1961. I was like, this is
episode.
Is what that is.
Episode.
We'll be in our 70s. I think we'll make it. We could probably, up it. But by the time when we start making some money from this, I can see twice a week.
Yeah, eventually. Both of our dance cards are filled for different reasons, but eventually the dance card is going to lessen as we get older.
Oh, yeah.
And then we'll be like drinking dehydrated beer. It's going to happen.
Yeah, dehydrated beer?
Just add water.
I'd like to see how hammered you can get off powder.
It'd be so tough. I did once a quick powder story, and not cocaine. Come on, get your head out of the gutter.
Come on, people. It's not 1961.
Powdered peanut butter is the thing for like climbers and for like CrossFitters and just generally smart, in shape people, neither of which describe me. So I was like, oh, powdered peanut butter. So and they're like, oh yeah, go ahead and try some. Mm-hmm. So like an idiot, I just took like the little, and I go, and it was like I was doing the cinnamon challenge and the saltine challenge all at the same time. And they're like, no, put it in the bowl. And so I had dried peanut butter, like just, because that like initial cough.
Uh-huh.
Yep. That's dehydrated peanut butter. My dehydrated peanut butter story.
We used to do that when we were making smoothies a lot.
Oh, you would put dehydrate. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we used to use that powdered peanut butter.
Yeah.
The best powdered peanut butter I've had is the
PB2?
Oh, PB2, that's what it is. Have you ever you try a lot of proteins?
No. That sounds weird. No, I stick to normal proteins. Normal.
Dev's having he's going crazy right now. I feel like there's like a hair like a longer hair in my hair.
There is. It's weird.
There is. You can see it.
Yeah, everyone zoom in.
Zoom in on it.
Yeah, zoom in on. Oh, gross.
Like when my wife's hair gets in my hair, you feel it because it's not part of your.
That's 2 weeks in a row we've been talking about.
That's right.
Spouse's hair.
Last year. Syntha 6 is a protein I used to have when I was in the Navy. I used to love this stuff. It's the best tasting protein.
Gold Standard is the best tasting protein.
I disagree. I've had Gold Standard. I think it's pretty good, but Syntha 6 is better.
Their No Explode, Syntha 6 No Explode is delicious.
That as well.
That is delicious.
Yeah, No Explode's great.
It's illegal how good that is.
When I take it, well, if you take too much, you're gonna have what I call brownie batter shits. It's not quite diarrhea, but it's not solid.
I've never experienced that. We've had a colleague that within 10 minutes of taking it, this is 2 weeks in a row. Oh, true story. Chuggalo Dave ridiculed me on my way home from work today, and he goes, "This is the second time on the podcast that you've brought up that sunny side up eggs give me the shits." So I guess technically now this is the third time, Dave.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Third
time's a charm.
But I don't know if you knew Wes, but you worked downstairs in the same area when he was there before he left the building. Mm-hmm. And he would do No Explode, and he goes within 10 to 15 minutes before his pre-work, he goes, that's when he would have to go drop the kids off at the pool.
Oh yeah, you're not dropping the kids off though. You're dropping like the liquefied version of the kids.
Yeah, but it didn't have the same effect on me.
I used to take, it didn't normally, but if you act like those scoops
Yeah.
There's very few times, I'm sure in like the world of hard drugs, this is true.
Yeah.
But with no explode, that scoop, you have to be precise. If you have like a rounded top on the scoop, you're gonna shit your pants basically, or you're gonna have to. So I used to start all my workouts in the Navy. I'd start all my workouts with like 30 minutes of cardio. Just get on the elliptical, get a sweat going, and then I'd start lifting weights. There were times where I had to run off the elliptical and take a break.
Because you guys have white uniforms. You can't be having those
out in white uniforms.
No, I'm just saying, but in case you transition into them.
Yeah. And then on the ship I was still taking no explode. And a couple times, I don't know if it was the motion of the ship or what, but I had to step out on the catwalk and give the fishes something to chew on, We had to puke a little.
Gross.
At least it was puking. I didn't have to, because I've had this is actually a fun story, but I probably can't articulate it like it was back then. But there were a few times where I would have that reaction.
Yeah.
It would be at morning muster, which for the non-military people is just when you take roll call basically, but you have to stand there at attention. And so I have to wait until the chief was done, and then finally, our berthing is where the bathroom was, and it's 2 decks down. And you have to go down what they call ladder wells, not stairs. And boy, I stopped a few times. Just trying to make sure. Because when you go down ladder wells, you don't
reclench.
When you're good with when you're been on the ship a while, you don't actually, your feet don't touch.
Right.
You kind of just slide down. Well, you have to, when you have this problem, you got to stop midway and stand on the step.
We know that walk of shame. I mean, there's people in the building that we've both worked in. There's people that have shit in the hallways. So like we've got poop stories, but another time, and they'll come with beer. JT, I think you said you had a beer story, right?
I do have a beer story, but I'm finding it hard to relate it because it's not like news as much as it was. I found a story where I don't know if it's a podcast or a blog of some sort. They've been rating beer fridges.
Awesome.
And, the rating here. So there was a lot of comments. I think they're just getting more visibility than we are. We should.
I need to submit mine.
But it doesn't matter what they are, or what their beer ratings were. What matters is that the top shelf of this beer fridge, is a small fridge, was reserved for the seltzers. And the primary comment was that the wife had infiltrated the beer fridge. So I guess my question just is, how do you feel about seltzers in the beer fridge? That's one. And two, because you do drink seltzers.
Yep.
How do you feel about the continued association of women to seltzers?
Okay, so God, there's so much here. We could do a whole podcast. This is good. This is going to pry me because I've got another "What Makes Fucking Matt Drink" segment coming up, and then we'll get to the beer. So my beer fridge, we have juice and we have pop in there, but right now there's 100 cans of beer in there.
But your beer fridge is a big beer fridge.
It's a full size fridge.
Full fridge.
So my wife has specific beer in there. We'll put the seltzers in there. So I have no problem. I know your wife drinks good stuff. My wife drinks good stuff. So I have no problem sharing that space, but 95% of that fridge is mine. I organize that thing twice a week, and I make sure that everything is faced or whatever I can face. Yeah. I am not perturbed. I think 2 years ago when we first approached seltzers and beers, we liked the separation of church and state.
Yeah.
I have no problem intermingling them. I'll go from seltzer to beer, back to seltzer, back to beer. They're harmonious relationships to me. So before it would have been like the redheaded stepchild 2 years ago.
Yeah.
For me, it's a lot closer kinship because, as you said, I'll drink them interchangeably.
Yeah. Things have changed. Times have changed.
Yep.
So start mainstream.
What about you?
I don't have any problem with the seltzers in the beer fridge.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the continued association with seltzers to women is probably.
I didn't answer that. Yeah.
I think it's still valid. I think, other than No, I don't know. It's half valid, half not valid, because there are decent seltzers out there that I think men are drinking. Like here's one that's never gonna catch on. Mike's Hard Lemonade will never be this like man's drink. I know they're trying.
I just don't want the bloat. Like
there are men who drink it.
Yep.
But there's the marketing right now is all about, this is a man's drink. It's a hard lemonade.
Oh yeah, it slams down, ice goes everywhere. Yeah,
I don't want that fucking garbage. Not when there's all this beer out there. So seltzers, I guess it's still kind of associated with like not weak drinks, but weaker than beer.
Yeah.
Even though some of them probably are getting up there.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've had some in the fridge that are, approaching double digits. Because the world of like sours and fruited beers, it's getting close.
I was going to mention that. There are hardcore beer drinkers are still, they just don't like the sours. They think the sours are for pussies.
Yep.
And I never understood that, because a good sour will beat a lot of beers in flavor.
Right. And complexity and like the thought behind it, like if you're, there's people out there like, like a Pilsner, there's like Pilsner heads out there. They're like, all they seek out is Pilsners, but there's a lot of variance in all of these styles, as 360 beers in, we're discovering.
Yeah, man. Imagine just seeking out Pilsners all the time. I feel like you would we go to the store and there's never a time where we can't find something new.
Yeah.
I feel like if you were just a Pilsners person, there would be a time where you'd maybe.
It's a rough time.
During COVID, you'd be like, oh man, there's nothing new.
It's a rough time, or you're spending a little bit, you're paying a premium and ordering yours online or from elsewhere. You're not going down to like, Halls or Barrel House or something like that.
But the good news is that no one's lining up for them. Like 450's gone. They're lined up even if it's virtually.
Yeah.
But Pilsners, you got your pick.
Yeah.
They get that new premium Pilsner in there, you're good. You go get it.
Yeah.
Take your time.
Awesome.
All right. So what makes Matt drink?
Okay. So I've finally got something after years and years and lauding and drinking the Pat Kool-Aid. I finally got one fucking thing to complain about, and this has happened more than once. If it just happened one time, I wouldn't bring it up. Don't be putting price tag stickers on the top of the motherfucking can. This has happened multiple times. This is the worst. At least it's not on, where I'm going to pop this can. This is going to be my beer for the day. But like, and this sticker, so this is a visual thing. They put the price sticker right on the top of the can. So like hopefully I pull it, I'm trying to do it. But these things shred so much.
Yeah.
That I'm hoping, and I know, like it's already fucking shredding. So again, don't put you've got all of this beauty on the side of the can. You're not going to cover up too much of it, or put it up on like the lip or something like that. But man, see, now it's shredding. So now I got to dick around with this to get this price tag off. Man, I'm going to say something next time I go in, but this is the third beer that I've had from there that they've put the price tag, because sometimes they just put them on the can rings or whatever.
Yeah,
but Drekker,
that's what I'm guessing.
But Drekker, as I've covered before, is starting to use their cardboard 6-pack rings.
Yeah.
So they've got to put it somewhere else. So now I'm doing operation surgery here, and I'm getting buzzed all the time. And there's nothing funny about this. So anyways, now I got it off. Who knows what kind of residuals, but that's her second beer of the day.
That's the second one?
Yep. So the first one, so that's my transition. That's what makes me drink. That's the third gosh darn beer that I've got from there, that the price tag is strategically on the top of the can. All right. This can's sticky. Awesome. Lots of things. So the first beer that JT and I will be doing today is Devil Firefish Apricot Imperial IPA, and I'll get into why I bought this here.
Not loaded.
It's not loaded. You ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. Oh, not much of a pop there. All right. So a little bit about Pipeworks. We've never had them before on the podcast, but JT, how many times have we had Pipeworks on the podcast, if you'd have to guess?
I think this would be the 5th.
It's number 7.
7. Oh.
Holy buckets.
Last time you said 4. Oh man. And last time would be when? When do you think we last had Pipeworks?
Oh, I love.
Don't look in your spreadsheet.
I love. It was. Oh yeah, this was the funny thing. It was the last beer we had on the podcast.
Yeah.
So, anyways, which was inconsequential till I started updating the spreadsheet today because I was a week behind. So, anyways, this is an Apricot Imperial IPA. Apricot specifically is why I bought this beer, because Chuggalo Ryan hates apricot. Oh. So I was like, so I bought 4 of these. One of them definitely is getting keistered until I see Ryan. And this chimes in at 9.2%. If you want to, I didn't know if I've done a website review because I don't remember this website, but you can find out more from Pipeworks from pdubs.net. You have to answer pdubs.net. Their website is atrocious.
PDUBS?
Pdubs, yeah, pdubs.net.
Right. Making sure, because people say B-dubs.
Yep,
they're talking about W's.
Pipeworks, far better than Buffalo Wild Wings. Mm-hmm. But their website is worse than Buffalo Wild Wings. And that's a hot take. It's built with Squarespace, and it looks like it was built by somebody in 8th grade. There's just lots of dead area. You have to click around to obviously you have to click around, but it's not obvious where you go to get any sort of usable information. And then they talk about self-distributing and Dojo, the bottle shop. So I may have talked about this before, but anyways, the worst thing about Pipeworks is their website.
Yep. I wouldn't know, but I'm curious. So when I go to these websites myself, I wonder, what is it that I want out of this website? Because I'm not rating it. That's your job. But
a clean website with information. That's what I want.
Yeah. But when I go to breweries around me, I usually don't go to the website. I wonder how many visitors go to the website looking for actual information.
I'm surprised with the feel of this website. It doesn't have a little like GeoCities fucking counter saying like I'm the 13th millionth person to go to this website. And it talks about how they self-distribute, which is awesome. Ironically, Ohio isn't on there, so they don't self-distribute to Ohio, but that makes sense because Ohio's got the gangs that all with Heidelberg and who are the other ones that you sell to them, and then they'll sell and they'll let you know how they do. But anyways, they're still championing that they've got curbside pickup, which is great. It's the biggest thing that you see on their website. Anyways, love Pipeworks. We've done them 7 times. We keep going to it because we know it's a cow that gives milk. I bought this apricot beer specifically to do it on the pod and then to gift it to somebody that doesn't enjoy apricot.
Well, I like apricot. So is this what does it look like that?
Yep.
Oh, okay. So
maybe it's designed more for mobile.
On mobile, it doesn't look so bad. It's actually pretty responsive. It's pretty good.
All of that is.
Well, I was wondering if maybe you were on the wrong site because it says on the can pipeworksbrewing.com, but when you do that, it then changes the URL to PDubs.
Yeah,
so I'm at the right place.
I'm gonna share my screen. Boom. Awesome. So it's sharing right now.
Almost. It's almost there.
Is it not sharing?
I just see a black screen, but maybe it's sharing. Maybe it's me. It's me, not you. Okay. But sometimes it takes a minute, like when you share a Teams call. I don't know if you guys use Teams in your day job.
Can you see it meow?
It's sharing now, yeah.
Okay, so I'm just sharing the entire screen instead of the window. So anyways, like there's just a lot of dead space. And when you go to the main page, like, oh, are you 21? Excellent. So then you go like, what if I don't want curbside? Like, why is this the first one when you have it right there? Poor design. So about all this dead space. Like,
yeah, this is definitely this has a MySpace feel to it for sure.
That's why I said like GeoCities or whatever. Yeah. You just need a little counter down here that, Matt's the 13th million. Jobs, frequently asked questions. I want to be like, why is your like? That's a cool picture.
That's a sweet picture. Yeah.
That's awesome. And
I've been to the facts before. I've been here before.
Yeah. So anyways, it's just there's much better websites out there, but I'm gonna be done sharing. But anyways, I just want
Name three.
450 because it's concise. 3 Floyds, and unfortunately Surly's got a pretty good website.
Oh, Surly's got a good website. Can't compete with that.
I just watched the Triple D episode where Guy Fieri went to Surly.
Oh, how was it?
It's the biggest place that they've ever. Their food. Again, we've talked about this for years. When you talk about a brewery and the first thing you mention is their food, nope.
Yeah.
They could have a good product,
but
again, we're talking about beer first. You know.
I have noticed that I've been gravitating towards Crooked Handle. I've been talking about wings a lot. I don't know. People just want to talk about wings. They're just, in my opinion, in the Dayton area, they're unbeatable. But their beer is good too. So I always try to say that when people are like, "Where are the best wings in Dayton?" It's definitely Crooked Handle, but their beer is good too.
We don't agree a lot when it comes to food.
No,
we agree on this.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
100%, and it's not close. But their beer again, and their Stev, what was their dip? I don't know. It's just the atmosphere, everything. I just wish they were fucking closer, man. Like,
I agree. I wish they were closer. Why Piqua? We're talking about Pipeworks, but we're talking about Crooked Handle.
Yeah.
Why Piqua when you don't even have a Dayton location yet? You know?
They're going to underserved locations, which is fun. It's smart. Again, I
just hammer it in. Figure out. I know they're going to underserved. Yeah, you're right.
I'm guessing that Deep Force Jason is just they've done the research. They're killing it. They have amazing product, and they're growing within their means. You know, like Warped Wings opening a 3rd location up by the Rose Center, or the Rose, whatever that concert venue is.
Yeah,
like
the Rose.
Yeah, the Rose. So, anyways.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm just glad that our area is exploding with beer. Like the good guys are doing well.
The good guys are doing well, and there's no food mentioned on the Pipeworks website.
Yep, there's no food mentioned.
They're known for their beer, and you know what? They're known for pretty good beer. The Unicorn series we talked about last week.
Yep.
Unicorn versus many things. All right. I've had some time to sit. Now I'm not an aficionado of fish. Get it?
I see what you did there.
See? Play on words. Or something like that. There are people who would argue that a play on words and a
double entendre.
Maybe a double entendre or something are not the same thing. But it's a play on words. So I don't 100% know what this fish is, but is it
That's a lionfish?
Is it a firefish?
I've never heard of it. It looks like a lion.
It does look like a lionfish
of one color.
What's the fish that if you cut it wrong, you die? Is that a puffer fish?
Could be. I wasn't ever in the Navy. That sounds like a Navy thing.
Yeah. We don't worry about cutting fish.
See, I know a lot about birds because I'm in the Air Force. Because
is that true?
They share the same space.
Real? Is it true that birds aren't real?
I can't actually comment on that right now.
Oh, I need you to comment on that.
Yeah.
I like the theory. Of all the conspiracy theories, I think that's my favorite one. That birds aren't real. That's just awesome. All right. So probably a lionfish of some sort. Devil firefish. I like it. It's got that cartoon. It's just a drawing of a fish. I don't really know where else you can go with this can art. The font is as if it was in an aquarium.
Yeah.
So you're viewing it through glass and in water. So that's good. They at least kept that theme going. The coloration is nice. It's weird because I don't remember Pipeworks being so like having so much like you said on their website, having so much dead space or white space.
It's
their
crazy, right?
Ninja can was like insane. There was something going on every square inch of that can. This not so much. There's a lot of just blank nothingness.
You would never guess that this is a Pipeworks can.
If I
Looking at
this,
it, right?
You'd be like, "What kind of beer is that?" I don't know.
You would never guess this is a Pipeworks can.
Yeah, you would never guess that. Same thing with last week's, the banana one. It was such a weird thing. Okay. Bonus segment, and that is brought to you by Chuggalo Mom. The taste of this beer.
Notice I didn't want to step on her toes. That's why I made sure that it was a beer that I brought.
Well, she appreciates that.
Yeah.
The taste of this beer is interesting because the first taste, it has that dankness. I think we talked about BO last week, so I don't want to rehash it, but there are certain IPAs that have just this baseline BO kind of thing. It's not in a bad way, but it take you to like a high school locker room when you not in a weird way, just when you were in high school, it smells like fucking armpits. This beer, it tastes like that up front. I think the apricot actually might accentuate that BO kind of profile. But again, that's the profile that you get with these danker IPAs. And I wish I was expert on hops, because I would bet that I'm getting that from the certain types of hops that are in this. This is an Imperial IPA, and it is 9%. So given that it's higher than, 7, this is probably where we start to talk about it. You can't taste the alcohol in this beer, which is fantastic. That's what you want out of these high alcoholic beers. You don't want to taste it. It doesn't punch you in the face. I don't know that I taste the apricot as a distinct flavor. I definitely think it's doing something in this beer. Just not sure where it's at. After you've had about half the can, which is where I'm at, the sips no longer have a distinct flavor, even, because my tongue is coated with whatever this beer is. It's strong at first and just kind of tuckers out. Maybe that's because it coats the tongue. I'm not sure. My tongue doesn't feel coated because it feels dry.
Stick your tongue out. I'll feel it.
No.
Oh,
as far as it goes.
I didn't feel any coat to it.
No coat. There's no coat on my tongue. There is a little tiny sweetness about this beer that I like in an IPA. I think that sweetness kind of does something. Bitterness, it's all there. Hoppiness, it's there. But I don't know that I'll remember this beer other than the can. I'll remember the can. The taste, man, for being 9%, I give them props, but I think that's the highlight. The highlight of this beer is that it's not too boozy. I think it's the sweetness saves it. I'm at a 3.25.
3.25. Okay, I gotta write that down.
Please do. And while you write that down, let me just say that I had.
Sorry, Stacey.
That's pretty good. All right, I stalled long enough.
It was the exact same score you gave the last Pipeworks that you had.
Oh man, 3.25. I thought I was giving a unique score there.
Well, you are unique. It's the giver of the score.
Go ahead.
No, please.
I had a branch and bone beer I didn't like. That's it.
Oh no, I was going to say the last. That's why I said the last Pipeworks. So they like Toppling Goliath. Dorothy's Old World is a terrible beer, but you have to have one, and it just makes me appreciate everything else they do that much more. Sorry, Stacey. Oh, it's coming up. So I'm nearly done with this beer.
Coming up.
This is a 1-note Imperial IPA. There's no complexity to it. So it's a sweet IPA that hides the booze.
Yeah.
In doing that gimmick, it does it amazingly well. But JT, the one takeaway that he said that I agree with and we are harmonious on is I won't remember this beer. Besides that, I have to give it to a buddy. I won't remember this beer in 2 months.
Yeah.
I like those things. Those are positive things that
it's a positive.
It's a sweeter IPA that hides the booze, and there's nothing off-putting about it, but that's it. Yeah. Like, and it doesn't describe 47 different flavors. It's not a 450 in that respect. It just says apricot.
Yeah.
If you blind tested me a bunch of random fruit, I probably wouldn't be able to pick out an apricot. I don't know if it's closer to a pear or a mango or an apple.
No,
I wouldn't be able.
More likely, I'll say this. I think this is true, but I'll have to ask someone who eats a lot more raw fruit.
Yeah.
I eat a lot of raw fruit. You're more likely to eat a dried apricot than a fresh one. I think.
Does the apricot have a large pit?
I believe so. Yeah.
That exhausts my apricot knowledge.
You don't eat a lot of large pit foods.
No, I'm just saying that's the only thing. I've never had an apricot in this house. I've owned this house for 9 years. Never had an apricot.
Dang, I'll bring one.
So anyways, outside of that, there's a lot of positives to it.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know what it is. It just doesn't go into that 4 level for me. Off the top rope, this is a 3.75.
Wow, you're higher than I was.
It does a lot of things well.
It does. Yeah, it does it well.
This would be a dangerous daily, like, so if what we say to you, like, pitches you, you're like, I love apricots. I love sweeter things that hide booze.
Well, yeah.
This is going to fuck you up. Again, it's a 9.2.
It's a 9.2. This is it. If you like things that hide the booze and our apricot, this is it. It'll be.
In our sweeter,
Yeah, definitely a sweeter IPA. I think that's the takeaway is the sweeter.
Yeah, sweeter, dry, heavier, maltier. The malt builds on this one really well.
Interesting.
But yeah, so check it out. I'm gonna have to go back and aggregate. Maybe that's a segment we should do next week. Where are we with Pipeworks? Because again, that's our 7th beer. Yeah. We've done 360 of them. So math in public, that's like 25% of the beers we've done.
I bet you we're averaging 3.5.
On Pipeworks?
Yeah, because I feel like we have this legend of Pipeworks in our heads.
I'd guess higher.
Always probably boils out to like in between 3 and 4.
I think the worst one we had was that the unicorn.
The Christmas one?
The Christmas one.
Yeah,
because it was disappointing.
Yeah, it was disappointing. Here's a side note about fruit.
I don't have your scores for the first beer we ever did.
Oh, you don't? Oh, I'll get
nope.
those too. I'll get those too. Do you eat kiwi raw?
I have, but
I'm gonna go out on a limb here. The Ohio kiwi, the kiwi we're getting here, I don't know where it comes from. Probably South America, maybe. I don't know. It has been so good.
I just learned something new. You've only get
a game right now.
You could do what's Dan Lebitard does the fruit of the year.
Dan Flash.
You could do a fruit of the year. So of the
fruit of the year this year, 2022, kiwi for sure.
Of the 7 Pipeworks that we've had, you've only given 2 of them over a 4.
That's not bad. That's pretty good actually. What is that? 20%?
Is it?
I don't know. What's 2 of 7?
I don't just over 20%, 25%.
25? There it is, 25%. Good. That's a cool
I don't have the in this list, so it's a little deceiving. I don't have the advent calendar.
Oh yeah. I think I was probably at a 4 on the reindeer. No, I was lower because I remember the peppermint was like, where is the peppermint?
Yep. It was completely
Candy cane thing. Yeah, I remember that. That was the one I think that should have delivered the most.
Yep.
Based on years of experience, size of the brewery.
Of that first week, besides Tripping Animals and 450 did a collab that I'm gonna try to find. But of that first 7 days, I think the one takeaway was all the ho hum beers and Tripping Animals Morning Coladita. That was the takeaway.
Sour, you got to do it right. I want to know what they did with 450. What did they do? Do you know?
I've seen a bunch of pictures of it, so I don't know the name. I just know it's out there. Drekker did a 450 collab too, so 450 is getting out there. Like
probably has scrambled eggs.
Again, it's fantastic. Beer number 2. While JT talks about this, I have to do a little bit of research. This is Drekker. Involuntary Narcissistic.
Oh man.
It's a lactose double IPA. Part of the reason why we're coming to you from separate locations, because I'm delivering the heaters today.
Hell yeah, you are. Okay, I see now.
So a little bit about this. We're on the come down on this one because this one comes only in at 8.5%. But let's go with the crack. The come down. Oh, this one's primed.
Oh yeah, it's primed.
After I've fucking had to flick off that price tag. Ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Oh, excellent. Just try to make sure that doesn't get all over my keyboard. So one of the things I wanted to talk about before I get, you can find out more from just Drekker Brewing, no www, just drekkerbrewing.com. And right on the website, it's much cleaner. Love Drekker. Chuggalo Dave's been there. Every time Chuggalo Dave goes there, Chuggalo Dave goes, hey, Matt, do you need anything? And we're starting to get more and more of it, so I always feel bad. But they were like into the smoothie style sours. I mean, they do a lot of IPAs and they do a lot of gimmicked IPAs, like a Nordic strain IPA where it was a hop was found in a glacier. Sorry, Stacy, but like I like gimmicks. I appreciate gimmicks like that.
Are great.
But on the website it says, let's get weird. Again, on Drekker Brewing, you can check out Brewhalla, which is the name of a gimmick. Buying into their gimmick, very
Brewhalla.
much up there with Three Floyds. So, anyways, the takeaway for this beer is it has a combination of 3 hops. The 3 hops I've never heard of. So it's Vic Secret, Belma, and Huel Melon.
Huel Melon. I think
and then
Vic Secret we've had, but the other 2 definitely not. And the Vic Secret, it's just me thinking maybe we've had it.
Yeah,
Probably wrong.
And then the best part below that, even for yeast is what binds all the flavors together. It says house yeast. Like fuck you, fuck you, double guns. This is all that. This is just yeast that we produce in the house.
Yep.
So I present to
you.
You
my house yeast.
I don't want any dudes, singular dude or singular females house yeast.
House yeast, yeah. No single person.
I've got I'll tell you off air. It's not appropriate. I've got like a 3-minute joke segment if I ever do stand up or whatever. Speaking of yeast or whatever, I've got some material. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I think I've been meaning to do stand up. I haven't done it yet.
You're the one that inspired me. You're like, I'm gonna do it someday. I'm preparing
gonna do
material.
it someday. I've written down a bunch of jokes, but I read them to Caterade, and she was like, most of these aren't funny.
I'm married to you, so I have to laugh. So
there's
JT,
there's a couple that were funny.
JT, we've talked about Drekker. We've had Drekker before on the podcast. How many times have we had Drekker on the podcast?
Drekker, I think we've had 2 other times.
2 other times. I just want to make sure because I do have 2 written down. 2 other times. You're right. So this is the 3rd time.
3rd Drekker. I feel like that was the right guess. It was a guess. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna pretend like I'm a genius, which I am.
You don't need to pretend.
I'm not gonna say that I knew that it was 2 because I didn't even get the Pipeworks one right. But this is the Can Art Boner segment brought to you by Chuggalo Mom. So
what a doll face. I like to say Chuggalo doll face.
No, doll face. What this is the smiley face, your traditional smiley face emoji, I guess, but it's being ripped open and revealing the skull of the smiley face. And the skull has kind of got like this, I don't know, bird-like skull. It's got a pointy, sharp teeth kind of thing going on. Involuntary narcissistic rage. So that I like what the can art at least reminds me of metal font. Even though the font is not metal font, metal font is like that unreadable bullshit that some of these bands have. It's just a bunch of lines that make letters.
Yeah.
I like it, but I find that the harder it is to read those, the shittier the band is. Not that like reading regular font makes the band any good. You gotta, it's a balance. You gotta have a metal font, readable, is probably the better of the metal bands. Anyway, I like the name. So the can art's great. Let me just say that. I love it. The can art's awesome. The one thing I think you need to do, at least for the shopper, is to make it more obvious that you're ripping an emoji face. Because that wasn't clear to me right away.
Yeah.
But I love the art. I think the art's great. That is it's solid art. Now there's 4 fingers on the hands. That's confusing. That reminds me of Mickey Mouse. Not sure if there's something there, but it's an emoji. Okay, so that's the Can Art Boner segment brought to you by Chuggalo Mom. The name here, Involuntary Narcissistic Rage, I love that name. It's awesome. It implies that this is a very self-centered rage. It's a rage about your superiority, right?
Interesting.
You're a narcissist, so it's not rage about narcissism. It's a narcissistic rage, which means, and it's involuntary. So it's basically like you are superior, or at least you hold that thought, and then you just can't help yourself. I don't know. I like the name. It's fun to think about.
I bought this beer because of Drekker and because of the name.
Yeah, the name's awesome. So it's got the glass you should drink it in.
A tulip.
Which you will get if you go to King's Table.
That's a tulip.
Yeah. So Belma, Huel Melon, never heard of them. Vic Secret, I feel like I've heard of. This beer does have a bitterness to it. What's it called? Lactose is not overdone, which could easily be. It's another sweet beer, but this one's a lot thicker than the first one. I don't taste the alcohol. Yeah, I just don't. This is another not memorable beer. The can art is memorable. Man, it's hard to rate this beer after that first one. There's an artwork by Punch Gut. Artwork by Punch Gut. Good job, Punch Gut. You did a good job. Man, I'm struggling with this score. Man, I don't know. I'm not huge on it. It's got a sweetness, but it's barely there. It leaves a bitterness on the tongue that's just not really desirable. I like the exploration of these hops that maybe we haven't had before. It's kind of got a darkness to it. but not a darkness that's porter stout darkness, not burned malts or anything. It's just maybe these hops have a more I don't know, more not earthy. It's got a different darkness to it. It's in the hops though.
Different darkness. I like it.
It's got a different darkness to it. But it's in the hops. It's not the malts. And I don't know that I like this beer very, very much. I want to like it. I kind of feel like this beer is trying to be me, but it's not.
Ooh.
You know?
Ooh. With lactose, because JT loves lactose.
Not the narcissism. I try at least maybe I don't see it. Maybe it's involuntary. It's involuntary. Man, I'm gonna give this beer I don't think I'll ever drink it again. 2.75.
Man.
I wanted to be in the threes with it really bad, but I have to be true to it. I don't think I like it.
JT hasn't sub 3 a beer in a long time.
It's been a long time, huh?
Episode
we
1.
had a lot of good beers. We need to try to do another shitty beer episode.
Episode 170. Chisinau Blonda. Hating on our foreign compadres, and then it was Hailstorm Night Movies.
Yeah, what did I give the Loud Ohio? What did I give
1.5.
Oh, okay. That was before 170?
That was 166, episode 166. Wow. That was the highest of highs and the lowest of lows.
Oh, yeah. There was a 5 there for sure.
All right. So, off the top rope, I bought this beer, 1, because Drekker, and 2, because of the name, because 2 bands I absolutely adore. Both start with the letter K. JT, can you name?
Can I name the bands that start with K?
Yep, that sing songs that have narcissistic in them. One band, it's in the title of the song.
Well, K.
Not narcissist, narcissistic.
Oh, wow. Well, is Korn one of the bands?
Korn is one of them. Narcissistic Cannibal.
Narcissistic Cannibal. And the other one is maybe...
It's an acronym, so you would never...
Oh, it's an acronym?
It's actually... It starts with a K, and so friends of mine will know it's the band, and write this down, I'll give a pause. It's the band that I own the most CDs of. Give a pause.
CDs of... Yeah, no, I don't know.
The band name is KMFDM.
Oh, KMFDM. Yeah, I've heard of them. You have the most CDs of them, huh?
I have, of them alone, I think last count it was like 17 CDs.
Wow, that's a lot of CDs.
But so they had a lot of re-releases, remasters, remixes, and all that. So and that's not even hundreds of them. So the interesting thing about this beer, and I'm going back, and it's nice having my spreadsheet here and having all this. So like JT says something, and his words are intoxicating, where I'm like doing research. I'm trying to either prove him right or he makes me think of something.
I want you to be wrong.
That I'm super distracted. Well, I don't want to say that because gone are the days where I would shit on you all the time. Now I only shit on you.
I've noticed that actually.
5 or 6 times an episode.
Sometimes
that's my
I
limit.
Walk away from these episodes. If you want me to feel like shit, go back to the early days. I would walk away and be like, I don't know. That was hard. That was rough.
That's what prison is like if JT was a chomo. Is those early episodes where he would just he would drop the soap and we would just take advantage of him.
I didn't like it.
So that's a little inside pool, but he stuck with it. I think it was quality material. We had thousands of views on that. By the way, have you noticed our views are starting to go up and to the right?
They're creeping up and to the right. What I didn't like was that people in the real world thought that's who I was, but they didn't know that like I have authority in the real world. It was just in the podcast where I was being shit on.
But you had authority. You were back when we edited all. You were doing everything.
I was doing the editing, but it's hard to edit out being shit on.
Today's episode's only 17 minutes, and the guys only had a beer and a half. Like, what happened?
Right, exactly. And you really can't comprehend anything they're saying.
So back to involuntary narcissistic. So this beer is unfortunate in so many different ways. The lactose just seems like a gimmick. It doesn't do anything for the beer because this beer is very bitter. Yes. And that's not something that off-puts JT and I. We like sweet, we like hitting that dopamine button and just having that part of, but you want something that's more grounded, and this would be a great palate cleanser because whatever beer we have after this is going to taste that much better because this is muted. This is like taking a walk,
good point,
a moonlit walk with like your loved one, and then just randomly reaching down on the ground, grabbing a bunch of sticks, twigs, and dead leaves and shoving them in your mouth. There's nothing.
Yeah, that's about what this tastes like.
It's not a household chemical, but I'm trying to like appeal to like
I like that. That description really is very apt.
Yeah, it's pine backwards. Like I always say, like pine or like citra hop forward. This is all backwards. Like it's super muted, but it sticks along forever. Like there is no like, there's no life support. This is a flatline beer.
Yeah, it's like if you take the pine needles off the branch and then chew on the branch.
Yep.
That's what this tastes like.
And
the leaves. I like the leaves.
Yeah, so it's just dead leaves in the dirty ground, to go to another like
Jack White.
Yeah, some white stripes there. So off the top rope, I give this a 3. That's the lowest score I've given in a long time myself too. This doesn't do. I like the name. I like the artwork. JT did a great job of describing that. The name was awesome because it elicits so much of like my musical admiration from my youth. But the beer doesn't follow it. Like that's the high point. Both the can art and the name and everything else, like taste wise. This beer just feels like an afterthought.
Yeah.
Maybe this is your style. This is not mine.
I don't know if this is anyone's style. Like
people like Pilsners, JT, and that's what they seek out. I
don't think anyone's just like I'm really into these bitter as fuck,
earthy,
lactose IPAs. I think.
Where's the lactose?
IPA is a style that people like. Pilsner's is a style. Sour.
I feel like that old lady that's like, "Where's the beef? Where's the lactose?"
Yeah, it's hard to find. I think it's in the thickness, in the viscosity, as you'd say.
Yeah.
So we started a theme last week. I gotta keep it going.
Yeah.
I want to know a little bit more about Matt, and you can answer quickly if you have something else you want to say. But I actually had a pre-planned question, but in the process of this episode taking place, I have another question. I'm gonna ask them both. You can choose which one you want to.
Okay.
My actual question was, what is the worst experience you've had? That's it. You can take that question wherever you want to go. The second one is, we talked about these bands. I'm taking my sons to their first concert.
I forgot to say it's Involuntary Narcissistic Rage.
Oh yeah, I mentioned that.
Yeah. I forgot. Yeah. Came out of my word.
Involuntary Narcissistic.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and I mentioned the rage part.
Yep.
Taking my kids to their first concert. We're going to. It's I guess you'd call this genre post-punk. It's Dance Gavin Dance, but
post-punk.
But with what you've said, you've got a couple bands in there. Some Korn, KMFDM. Okay, your daughters, they get into it. You're listening in the car. You go on road trips. Your daughters are like, yeah, Dad's got great taste in music. When and which bands do you choose to take them to their first concert? Because my kids are 14 and 12. But the first question, so that's question one. I've already made that choice. So
okay,
regardless of what you say, I won't change my mind. But the actual question that I brought today was, what's your worst experience? Because I thought that was pretty cool, open-ended question. But you can answer either one or both.
So Music in this house, God, we could do a whole podcast on
We
that.
sure
So,
could. Music.
we were sitting down yesterday for the mole people because we always like to put mole markers. Yesterday was Easter here in
Yesterday was Easter 2022.
And so we are sitting down at the table as a family, and Stacy had prepared Easter ham and Easter cheesy potatoes, and
That sounds great.
the cranberries came on.
The cranberries, yeah, okay.
And my 6-year-old daughter, I couldn't be more proud. Stacy loves country, and I love not country.
Yes.
But our amalgamation that we play a lot of in the house is 80s and like 90s radio music. That's like where we blend. And then our 6-year-old daughter picks up on that, and she sings the Cranberry Zombies. Nice. And that came on, and she like starts tapping it, and then she knows 90% of the lyrics for a 6-year-old. Dolores left us way too soon. And it's unfortunate because I would pay an exorbitant amount of money to be able to take my 6-year-old daughter to go see the Cranberries. Mm-hmm. But back before that, so that would be like the song. We listened to a lot of 80s music, and she she'll tell you that one of her favorite songs is Take on Me. Oh, no. We'll listen to like 80s pop, or 80s new wave, and Hannah, a lot of those are like catchy. They have an amazing hook. Yeah. So I don't think she's what I listened to when I was 6. I don't listen to now. So I'm thinking that it'll still develop for her, but she's listening to stuff that we adore in this house. Like, because I mean, you've seen all the speakers on the main floor. So we'll just play the same thing. And, it's awesome. You know,
that is awesome. I'm sure you could find a cover band to go see.
Well, like Bad Wolf does a zombies cover or whatever, more of a rock cover. But I'm a purist in the respect that you won't do better than the original. But did I associate I have to look it up. Cranberries lead singer. I want to make sure it was Dolores. Okay, yeah. Okay, so I was right. So it was Dolores, but and I just was like, I was second guessing myself there. So, and your second question is, what's the worst experience I've ever had in my life?
Well, just what's your worst experience? You could translate it however you want.
It's my worst experience.
Yeah, what's your worst experience? My goal was with this.
I'm going to be way reflective.
Negative questions. But you could turn them however you want, because the music one was, I think, pretty positive. And we've made our decision, but it's not in a classic sense.
Well, what's your decision though? Like, expand on that, because when you say we, so then you and Caterade have made these.
I'll expand on that while you think about that first question.
Yeah.
So my kids know that my favorite drummer is, well, I think I have to make sure I define this because people are going to jump all over me. Who is the best drummer of all time? That's not the question I'm answering here. That's probably John Bonham. What I'm answering is, who's my favorite drummer? Who does, I think, the most innovative things with the drums is Travis Barker. And growing up, being a teenager of the late 90s, early 2000s, I love Blink-182. So my kids are really into Blink-182.
Right.
But, I also am more of a fan of the harder, screamo kind of
fringe metal, almost.
Fringe metal. I like metal too, and some what they call, I guess what they call post-punk. I don't know what I'd call it. One of those bands is Dance Gavin Dance. They're individually 5 great musicians, and as a group, just an awesome band. And our kids love it. So we decided we're going to go to Michigan and see them. So we're going to go in May and check them out.
Where in Michigan?
Fort.
Like, is it
something.
I was gonna say, is it like a good venue? Because there's a
I don't know.
bunch of great places you
I've
should go
never
in
been
Michigan
to
for
a
beer.
concert in Michigan. I've been to almost every place you could go in Chicago. I've been to Milwaukee Fest and the Rave, and I've been to a few places in Ohio. That's about it.
Yeah.
Nowhere in Indiana or Michigan. So this will be the first. But they're not coming through here.
That's
They're not
like
going to Cleveland, I don't think.
my favorite band is touring for the first time since COVID. Obviously, Deftones.
Deftones. Yep.
Boom. They're coming to Cincinnati. Oh, great. Close to the house.
Mm-hmm.
Look at tickets. All of them are reasonable. Couple $100 and a piece. And of course, it's the day that I'm flying back into Ohio, and I'm like, I can't make the concert time.
You can do it. You can do it.
I know I don't get back till like 11:30, and I might get the encore or whatever.
You get the encore.
Yeah. So, but you're talking about like worst experience.
Yep, worst experience doesn't have to be associated with any particular
topic. I've done this before, but I think it's a story revisited. Is the worst drinking experience I've ever had.
All right.
By far. I've talked about it. It's snake wine, where it's 3 dead cobras coiled up in a jug of booze.
I don't like that.
And then the lady in front of me that had a drink in front of me had 2 shots of this stuff. And she's like, "You're not going to be showed up by a 62-year-old Irish woman, are you?"
Yeah,
I was like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
So I had 2 shots, and it was the worst thing I've ever had in my life, in my mouth.
Well, that's what was it like?
It tastes like absolute death.
Yeah.
And there wasn't enough toothpaste in the world to be able to make this happen. And JT, I just need you to carry it just for a second, please.
Yeah.
You just carry it
just for a second. I will at least tell you what my worst experience has been. You probably don't want to have.
No, please tell me.
Yeah, you probably don't want to have, children in the background, but that's okay. My worst experience that I've ever had was not drink related or food related. It was an Air Force experience.
Why wouldn't you have just said drink related?
Because I wanted to leave it open ended. What's the worst experience you've had? And I wanted to see what you come up with.
Well, I've had a lot of worst experiences.
I don't think I've had a worst drink experience. I know that a friend has had a worst drink experience when I was almost drinking age. We went to a house party before I joined the Navy, and this friend had a Pontiac. Oh, what was it? Maybe GTP. I can't remember. It was not an Eclipse or whatever that stupid commercial was where the guy
Aztec
front seat. Not an Aztec. It was a sports car. I think it was
GTP.
Pontiac GTP.
It wasn't a Firebird.
No, it was newer. And it was a house party where jungle juice was served in a big 5-gallon Gatorade thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some WAP.
Someone puked in her back seat and it was red. And that was it. That was probably her worst experience. My worst experience was an Air Force experience. It's not worth really going into too much detail. This was the worst day of my life. And it was awful. It was just like, and nothing negative happened. Like no permanent damage was experienced, but it's just like everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. That's it. I'll explain it some other time. It just takes too long to go into detail. But my worst drinking experience, let me try to think of that. It was, I don't know, because I'm an advocate of puking. Right. If you got to do it. Just do it and get it over with. So right. I haven't, since I started that, I have not really had a lot of bad drinking experiences.
I've bared witness to when you've got to purge. I call it purging because purging is you're electing to do it.
Yeah, you're doing it on purpose. I'm a fan of that.
Puke, it sneaks up on you. Purging is completely different. That's an elective.
Yeah, I have had few bad experiences drinking since I decided I'm just gonna throw up on purpose.
Yeah,
and so I don't really have a lot of bad drinking experiences. I can't even really think of a horrible one, except maybe in the Navy, I did get too drunk at a port call, and I had duty the next day, and puked into we have shred bags, as they call them, and I puked into one in front of my commander.
Was it a paper shred bag too?
Yeah, it was paper.
Oh,
for sure.
no!
Paper. So I threw that thing over the side of the ship. Because that's what you got to do. If it's an empty shred bag.
Oh, I thought there was a bunch of shreds still in it.
Well, it just gotten replaced.
Nice save.
Over the side of the ship.
Nice save.
Yeah. Not good. Not good. Right in front of the commander, but he knew. I mean, come on. We're in port. We hadn't been at port for a while. Sailors are gonna get fucked up. That's what happens.
So you're going. This is going to be my question before we hit the trail.
Yeah.
If you're going to pick, because we update this all the time. If you're going to pick one beer that you can drink on a weekend, I'm going to paint the hanging out with the guys. So Friday you leave work and you're not getting home till Sunday afternoon. Mm-hmm. One beer.
One beer the whole time?
One beer, the same beer the whole time.
Yeah, I don't know that it's going to change much because I want to be able to consistently drink and be in the game. Busch Light, it's got to be Busch Light. I just enjoy it. It's light. I can drink many of them. What about you?
Bell's lighthearted.
Yeah, that's another good one. It's a very good one.
Because then I feel like I still have some street cred. Not that Busch Light, you don't have street cred, because in our extended group of friends, both of our intersecting Venn diagram, Busch Light is across the board. I think we've spread the Busch Light gospel.
Some people still have this bias against it, but when they try it, they realize they were wrong.
Those people that have biases, close your eyes right now. Both of us will. Do they drink Bud Light? Yes.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, exactly. See? That if you have a bias against Busch Light, Bud Light is acceptable in your world, and that's 100% of the time.
That's your problem.
Guaranteed, and that's your problem.
Ghost, you're gonna have to exercise because that shit is wrong.
If you want to address that problem, go into the nearest bathroom, look at the person that's looking back at you above the sink,
and purge.
Yeah, and purge. Purge! Oh, purge! Oh, purge!
Purge on.
Awesome.
That's it. Yep.
181.
Purge on.
Listen to this episode both forwards and backwards, and invert it, and then listen to it.
In this episode, I put them in there in the audio.
I'd be remiss because he's going to listen. So I did get a text message that we have to mention. Chuggalos Stev messaged us and says his wife, has she been identified on the podcast? I don't want to dox. Stev wife and I will be going to Asheville for our honeymoon in a few weeks. Again, congratulations, Stev. Going to be putting together a list of brews people might want. If you or JT would be interested in anything specific.
Yeah, I am. Anything specific? No, because I don't know what they have, but I know what breweries are there.
Yep.
Burial and the Funkatorium.
Those are the top two.
Those are the top two. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that.
Stev, I will, because now I have your PayPal. I will just PayPal you money.
Just all day PayPal you money.
I mean,
$1
back out
every 30 minutes.
Yeah, back out gas, back out stuff. So I'll send you $150. You bring me 2 beers back. We'll call it even.
2 beers. They better be damn good.
Well, it's gas. Gas is expensive for the
gas
ball
is
people.
Expensive, but don't drive around Asheville. You can walk everywhere.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he doesn't have those environmental concerns or whatever.
Stev definitely has those concerns.
He's a big guy.
I went out to dinner with Stev, and again, not doxing.
Yeah.
He ate a pizza and basically had a full salad on top of it.
So he put the salad on the pizza?
It was some sort of leaf.
That's a
it starts with
some
an
sort
A.
of leaf? There you guys were doing marijuana.
It starts with an A. I don't know. He had
arugula.
Arugula. It was like an arugula pizza.
Arugula's got a spiciness to it.
Leaves and then a little bit of pizza underneath. If you're gonna go to Old Scratch Pizza, let me give you a tip. Get the honey sriracha pizza. No other pizza will make you satisfied.
Old Scratch Pizza is where we get our pizza dough from when we make our pizzas.
Oh.
$1 a piece. $1.
$1 per crust?
For a pizza dough. No, you have to it's for pizza dough. You get a ball.
For a ball.
Yeah. $1 a ball. That's inflation hasn't affected it.
That's a good deal. So they sell that because they have too many balls?
No, they sell it because people have unis and make their own pizza or whatever. It's the best deal around. $1 for a pizza dough.
That is a good deal. Yeah, that's a killer deal.
But anyways, Stev, God bless you. More people to bring us beer. I can send you money because I don't want you to be out money.
No, not at all. I'll send you money too.
Yep.
You don't even have to give me beer. I'll just send you money.
Yeah, we'll just send you money. I've got your PayPal, so it literally can just show up in your account at any time. Yeah. JT, closing thoughts.
Closing thoughts. My closing thoughts are, if you're gonna put lactose in a beer, make it sweet.
My closing thought is don't put price tags on top of your cans.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like beer that just tastes like I've been dragging my tongue on the floor of the forest. Or the forest.
The arugula forest.
The arugula forest. That's not going to be the title of the episode.
No. The title of the episode is PER space JOHN. Per John.
Per John.
But it actually stands for purge, PURGE, on. Per John, folks. You know,
wow.
Does that blow your fucking mind? Per John. Maybe the name of the episode will be something else. We don't know yet. We haven't decided. That's it. That's episode 181. It's an anagram, a fucking parabola. It's all of the things. Just don't call it late for dinner.
Don't call it late.
181 Brew Crew Podcast. Adios.